Hey everyone, JTISREBORN here, back with Epichorrorfans to bring you another review. This time, I just saw this movie that was on Netflix. It finally got to Netflix, the movie The Babadook. This movie I've heard so much about. I've heard amazing, mind-blowing, masterpiece from the director of The Exorcist, the scariest movie I've ever seen. I'm like, oh shoot, this sounds like it could be cool. Like, it was about a widowed mom, and she reads her son this like pop-up storybook that he just so happened to have on his shelf for some reason. I have no idea where it came from. It's about this supernatural creature thing called the Babadook that comes to torment people and then tries to kill them or something. So I'm like, okay, that sounded pretty cool. So I watched the movie and I was just kind of underwhelmed. The overhype of this movie kind of killed it for me. Doesn't mean I hated the movie. I don't hate the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not something like, oh man, that sucked. It was just alright. I didn't really see it as anything really all that special. So I'm going to get into that. Spoilers ahead. Overall, I think the movie's a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Not too high of a review for me, but some people really liked it, so you might like it. So let's get into this. So, as I said before, some woman, I guess her name was Amelia, and she has her son Sam. This lady does a really good job though. Towards the end, she just goes fucking full-blown Jack Nicholson from The Shining. She's just you know what, son? Blah, 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 blah. We'll get into that. So spoiler warning, spoilers, blah blah blah, spoiler talk. You got my thoughts on the movie. I gave you a brief synopsis. Okay. Now we're into spoiler territory. So Amelia or whatever, she's recently widowed, and then she's trying to raise her, or not recently. She's been raising her son for a long time. So basically her son's really young, gives her this book, Mama, read the book, and she's like, son, no, I'm too busy with my vibrator. Literally, the first thing she does is she just takes her vibrator to herself, in the beginning of the movie. I'm just okay, and then her son comes and interrupts. He's like, Mom, I'm scared of the Babadook. What's that? Or actually, it was after the pop-up book thing. Sorry, I'm kind of getting mixed up because I saw this movie the other day and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So she's reading the book okay, this is a really disturbing book, son. Where the fuck did you get this from? I never bought this book. You never bought this book because you don't have money and you never go to the store. So where the fuck did it come from? And so she just starts reading oh, this is really disturbing. So she throws it aside. No more. Sam, her son, becomes convinced that the Babadook is actually stalking them in their home. So a bunch of strange stuff starts happening, and the beginning of this movie, until things start happening, I think it's it feels 40 minutes goes by before anything really starts to happen, and that slow burn effect works in some aspects of movies, but I felt it should have gotten a little more intense a little earlier on. Stuff with the editing of this movie, some of it is just really fast forward and kind of reminds me of Evil Dead and some of those the POV shot of Ash being chased by one of the Deadite monsters, and it kind of reminds me of that in some aspects, but the scares aren't scary. There's nothing in this movie that really seems scary to me at all. There wasn't even one moment where I'm ah, at all. It gets intense in a lot of it, towards the end. Her son starts to go crazy. The mom is just son, the fuck is going on? Just stop being so crazy. And then so they go home. Her son has a seizure, and she's just you can see all the things with the Babadook and that are starting to take their toll on her. And he's just this lady, you start her, she's already seems kind of depressed in the beginning as is. But then you just see her rapidly decline. She at first doesn't believe in the Babadook. There's some this movie is actually unintentionally funny, I'd say. She takes this book and she rips it up, and then the Babadook book, and she's screw this thing. She throws it in the garbage and she's done. Starts stalking her again. She starts to hear the knocks. Did I just go over the poem? The poem goes if it's in a word, if it's in a book, you can't get rid of the Babadook. The Babadook's voice is just Babadook. It's pretty funny. So then she thinks she's done. Like you'll hear like 3 sharp knocks, and you know he's around. So the Babadook comes in, or what? You don't really see the Babadook. I think you get like a brief shot or two of him, but for the most part, he's kept in darkness because like if you saw that thing like fully, because like the way he's designed, like from the children's book, it really isn't scary. It's more like for comedic. It looks kind of funny. So she calls the cops, like, so like she originally like threw the book out and ripped it up and threw it away. And the book is like taped back together and on her front doorstep. She's like, and it's just like she's reading it and she's just like, I'm coming for you, or something like that. And she's like, she's like, you want to bring me the boy, bring me the boy, bring me the boy. So the kid wants to like booby trap his house and stuff to like capture the Babadook. And then his mom, like, eventually just goes nuts, and she's just like, son, you know, like, there's one part in particular. So, let's go back. So, they have a dog. She kills their dog. Like I said, this kind of just spoiler, scrambled thoughts. She just goes so crazy that she, like, kills her dog at one point. And then she's, like, ready to kill her son. Her son locks in the house. She's like, Sam, open the door, Sam. Ah! And then I'll huff. Little pigs, let me come in. It's literally identical to Jack Nicholson from The Shining, where he starts to go nuts. It's unintentionally funny. There's one part where she like finally busts down the door and Sam's like, Mama, I'm sorry, Mama. And then she's just like, and then like, she's got a knife and stuff, and her son pisses her pants. She's just like, haha, you're 6 and you're pissing your pants? What a bitch. Like, literally, she's just like that. And I'm just, like, just when she goes, like, nuts, it's actually really funny. Eventually, her son, like, captures her and is just like, Mama, we can't get rid of the Babadook, but I still love you. Like, even though she's going nuts. Then her mom starts to, like, puke up, like, the black goo or tar or whatever out of her mouth and stuff. And then, eventually, it seems like they've gotten rid of this thing. Finally, like, she eventually, like, gets let go, and she's like, I love you, son. And then all of a sudden, like, things start to going crazy. Then you kind of see the Babadook in shadows like that. His arms are stretched out, kind of like in A Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy's arms are, like, clawing against the sides like that. She's like, get out of my house! So then, like, the Babadook's like, ugh. Then, like, the Babadook eventually, like, retreats. Like, she's like, oh, we finally got rid of it. Then she's like, her son like starts to get like dragged upstairs. Like I like this weird like, what am I trying to say? So the Babadook eventually just retreats, and then her son and all that seems fine. Like the Babadook goes down to their cellar, and that seems to be it in the movie. Then I'm just like, okay, that's kind of unepic. She just like leave my house, and the Babadook's like, I'm done. I'm like, okay, see you later then. You know what, like, the reason I think she goes crazy, I think it possesses her too. Like, my thoughts are really scared here. I apologize for that. Like I said, this is like spoiler talk right now. So, and it's unscripted, so makes it worse. I apologize. So, anyways, the end of the movie, she's like with her son. The Babadook like retreats to their cellar or whatever. It just seems like the force is gone. It's definitely Evil Dead. Where like she's like looking at the camera. Like you don't see it, but it's like looking at the she's like looking at the camera. It's almost like she's looking at the audience. So like, anyways, like afterwards, the Babadook seems to be done. They seem like really. These two like seem like really happy now. Like somebody actually put a filter of color into the movie, and she's just like, Sam, I love life. He's like, yeah, too. So they go out, they have a birthday for Sam. I guess she never celebrated a birthday because, like, his birthday is the same day his dad died. So they seem really happy, and they start catching, like, worms in their backyard. She goes down to the cellar. Then all of a sudden the Babadook's, like, still alive. You just see it just like, ah. She's like, Sam, stay outside. It's actually, like, the food that, like, the stuff she's gathering from the garden is actually food for the Babadook, which you don't see. Like, at one point she goes down the cellar, she turns around, and is like, ah! And it's like Evil Dead where the camera just goes, and it's just unintentionally funny. So, like, the Babadook, I guess, is just living in their house. They don't bother to call the cops or anything. Like, hey, we got this malevolent creature living in our house. Can you help us? No, I guess it just lives there. They're like, oh well, just got to feed you once in a while. So that's pretty much it. Anything really scary? No. Like I said, I'm really disappointed with this movie because like all that hype, all that like, yeah, this is the scariest movie ever that I'm hearing from like the director of The Exorcist, which a lot of people consider the scariest movie of all time, which I wouldn't really agree with that statement. It's a freaky movie, but this, the scariest movie of all time. Like, I don't see it. I'm sorry. Babadook's overrated, from what I've gathered. It's not a bad movie at all. It's really not. I was entertained like the last like half hour, like especially when she went fully nuts. Like, this is funny. Like, I thought it was funny. I'm just like, it just got like silly towards the end. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, just kind of let down by this one. I mean, I know some people are probably going to come at me and be like, well, you didn't understand it because like what's scary about it is the psychological effects it has. Like, no, I just didn't find it scary. Yeah, psychologically, like you see the toll it takes on her, and she does a really good job. But I mean, the kid was kind of annoying, which a lot of kids in movies are. I just didn't care. Like, I didn't really care what happened to like these people in this movie. The Babadook, you don't see, which it's better that you don't really see it, because like if you look at the children's book, that thing like live action wise would look ridiculous. It really just would. So it's best that they kept it in shadow. But questions still remain answered. Where did that book come from? Like, really, where did it come from? Like, why is it there? Like, why is he like all of a sudden just like, oh, here's a Babadook? I mean, granted, it would probably kill some in the movie. They actually gave a physical explanation, but at the same time, just wondering myself, like, you know, where the hell did that book come from? So, oh well. Anyways, if you want to check this out, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like I said, I wasn't like too big on it. I was just overall kind of just seemed underwhelming to me. I don't know. Maybe in your taste you like it, maybe you won't. So that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to stay subscribed to Epichorrorfans, and if you didn't really like my opinion, well, it's opinion, so not a big deal. I'm really only doing this like whole opinion thing, you know, because this movie actually has gotten, I guess, an overwhelmingly positive response, which I really don't see too much. Oh well, thank you all for watching. You're all awesome. I'll talk to you all later, and yeah, have a good day, everybody. Sayonara. Subscribe to Epichorrorfans. Bates Motel Season 3 review coming soon. Bye-bye.